News alert. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow. That's right, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day. For pagans, it's Imbolc, and for Christians, it's Candlemas. But let's just stay with Groundhog Day, as it's got a movie, and Imbolc and Candlemas are still waiting for their cinematic representation. In the film Groundhog Day, meteorologist Phil Connors is fated to relive Groundhog Day, with each morning beginning when the alarm clock goes off at 6 and Sonny and Cher start singing, well, actually not start singing, I've Got You, Babe. It's actually already in progress. I revisit that moment from time to time in thinking of this church, where when we are at our best, we can proudly say, we've got you, babe. For we are Shawnee Mission, Unitarian, Universalist Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. And happy as we are to see the regular faces, we are very, very glad to see new faces here too. Welcome. Join us after the service in the social hall for coffee, cake, and conversation, where we can get to know each other better. Without further ado, let us rise, move about the room, and greet one another with that I've got you spirit. Those at home, say hi, replete with emojis.
You're gonna go up.
Hi.
What is happening?
And I have my thing memorized because Kevin didn't see my message, so it's not printed out.
Okay, so announcements.
Okay, so
I'm going and then you'll go.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
So is this where we're at right now?
No, we're actually starting announcements right now.
Oh, so I'll be on the bus.
I was just going to introduce.
Yeah, you can introduce.
Yeah. For those just coming in, you missed the Love Fest. It's good to be here. It's good to be here together. And now, Dr. Jen has some announcements.
Good morning. All right, I just have a quick reminder that our Women in Femmes group is meeting after the service at 11:45 in the multipurpose room just down this hallway. Yeah, that's my announcement. And now we have an announcement from our youth. Ellie.
Hey there, everyone. My name's Ellie Agnew, and I am ecstatic to tell you about our very first winter formal here at SMUUCh. Friday, March 7th, from 6 to 9 p.m. Make sure to wear your very best, hold on. Guys, what was the theme supposed to be? Was it winter? No, that's too basic. Aliens? That was literally yesterday. I remember. Their very first theme for our winter formal here at SMUUCh is, drumroll please, decades! On Friday, March,
7.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to have this memorized because someone didn't print it out. Yeah. Oh, yes, okay. Turn back the clock to your favorite year, dress like your mother's watching, and boogie on down to SMUUCh for a night full of dancing, free snacks, and mingling. Did I mention we'll have free snacks? With some help from you guys, of course. We would love to see each and every one of you there. Mark your calendars for Friday, March 7th from 6 to 9 p.m. You will be hearing from us again.
All right, and now a quick announcement from Fisk.
Good morning, everyone. So questions have been asked about the Shawnee Mission UU Library, and Rune Camp, who is here, Frank Strada is also on tap. We're the library team, and so we've tidied up all the books there. We have an official log book now. Haley Chafin is going to be doing a graphic cover for this. So the idea is that people can sign books in and out. Very informal. It's going to be a keep it simple thing, but you're welcome to mess around with books and take books home now. The library is officially open. This logbook will be hanging around in the vicinity. You can sign in, sign your books out, and then when you bring it back, you can sign it back in. If you want to write some notes about whatever you read in the book or your thoughts about it or recommendations, then this can kind of be like a library sort of book that people can look back at and over time and see people's adventures with the books there. And then if you'd like to donate books to the library, please bring them in. We're going to have a free library component of it as well as the main library. So it is officially open for business, and please feel free to peruse the books and take something home if it catches your interest. Thank you.
All right, and now lastly, our Donate the Plate. We are so excited to welcome Tony Hadel from Operation Wildlife and her little screech owl.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us, and thank you so much for donating to our organization. We're one of the only wildlife rehab centers left in the state of Kansas. We are now getting birds of prey, injured, orphaned, from all over the state. We're driven by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Kansas Fish and Wildlife, and now USDA. They tell us what we can do and how we're going to do it, but they don't provide any funding whatsoever. So we have to fund everything we do. We're all volunteer, and we take in over 3,000 animals a year. We field, I think it was 15,000 calls, just calling in, and we have a website and Facebook, and we offer suggestions for how maybe you can help at home, just with some very simple things, as opposed to bring, like you find some bunnies. Everybody finds bunnies, right? And just kind of cordon them off to keep your dogs out, you know, just a lot of helpful hints. We're all over the 2 state areas doing different kinds of programs. Schools, libraries, birthday parties. All through January, we did Eagle Days. We have resident bald eagle and golden eagle. These are permanently injured animals that can't be released, as with this little bird. He's full grown, by the way. He's not a baby. He's got a bad eye. He can't see out of it at all. And the problem with that is he could not hunt efficiently. We see lots of wing injuries. They get hit by cars. That's very common. Head injuries, eyes. We try to save them all, but it's impossible to do so. Some of their injuries are just too far gone, but we give them every chance we possibly can. We release approximately 69%, which is well above the national average of around 40%. So we're very, very proud of that. We are, like I said, full-service veterinary, and as volunteers, we have to help with everything. Our director is wonderful, and we do have to go help her. So we get to see everything, and if you're interested in animals, we're always looking for volunteers. It's so rewarding, and I can't begin, again, to thank you enough for what you're doing for our facility and for us. So I'll be around with him for a while. I think it's a boy. We don't know with birds of prey. You don't usually know. The one fact I can tell you, the females are bigger and stronger in the bird kingdom. Girls rule, right? So again, thank you. And I did bring some brochures. They're out on one of the tables out front. So please pick one up and there'll be more information about us. Thank you again.
Hear these words of Annie Dillard's. We are here to abet creation and to witness it, to notice each thing so that each thing gets noticed. Together we notice not only each mountain shadow and each stone on the beach, but we notice each other's beautiful faces and complex natures so that creation need not play to an empty house. In that spirit of aiding and abetting creation, come, let us worship together. Our opening hymn is Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, even though it says, May nothing evil, we changed things? Okay. 361. Thank you. So just add 360 to that and we're all set. As Dr. Jen lights the chalice, let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another.
All right, at this time, I'd like to invite all the children and youth forward for Time for All Ages. Hi, Nina. Hey, Arjun. Welcome. Hey, Abe. All right, good to see so many faces today. Today we are talking about joy. And we have our resident expert, Joy. Joy, can you tell me what joy means?
I guess it's sort of like happiness.
Happiness, that's a great way to describe joy. Yeah. Also you, yeah. So joy is to have great pleasure and happiness. And what are some things that bring you all joy? joy does bring us all joy. What are some other things?
She said bubbles.
Bubbles. Yes, bubbles bring joy. Java? Pokemon brings Java joy. Yes. Percy Jackson. All right. Yes. Your dog brings you joy. Dimitri. Your bearded dragon. Very cool. Nina? Your family brings you joy. That's wonderful. Ellie?
When I remember to properly hydrate.
When you're hydrated. Yes, that is very important to have joy. Norman? Everyone here brings Norman joy. Ah, Norman. I love that. One more. Katie? Cats? Yes, cats bring us joy. Last week, we read a story about a little fish named Swimmy. Swimmy knew the ocean could be a scary place with big giant tuna swimming around, eating little fish. But he also knew that the ocean was a joyous place with interesting animals, beautiful coral, and seaweed forests that every fish deserved to experience. Does anyone, I know some of you weren't here, but for those that were here, does anyone remember what Swimmy did when he saw a small group of fish hiding from the tuna and not enjoying the ocean? Yeah, he got all the fish organized. They ended up looking like a big fish. They saw that they had power in numbers, and they swam together in the shape of a giant fish, and together they could enjoy the joyous things about the ocean. Right now, we have a lot of work to do to make sure that people can experience joy. And some of that means fighting for justice for those who aren't experiencing joy right now. And so we need to organize, we need to build power to create change, just like Swimmy did. And when we do that, because it is hard work, we need to remember to be joyful. We need to sing songs. We need to share meals. We need to dance like at the winter formal that's coming up. So we got to remember to be joyful in these times. Before we head to our classrooms today, I feel like being a little defiant and a lot more joyful. Each week we end Time for All Ages the same way. What if today we mix things up a little bit? Daniel, do you think you could play Go Now in Peace in a different musical style? Okay.
Rock, do rock.
And Reverend Lucky, we usually walk out the same way each week. Do you have any ideas about how we could be a little more defiant and joyful?
I think I do.
You do? All right.
Each month, we as a church take time to reflect on a theme. We do so here in service as the children do in their classrooms. The theme for February is inclusion. And for inclusion on this date, we need go no further than the 1993 film Groundhog Day. Spoiler alert. There are likely to be spoilers if you haven't seen the film, but you've had 32 years to see the film. So, in the film, Bill Murray plays Phil Connors, a talented but rather self-absorbed and arrogant weatherman from Pittsburgh. I mean, what weatherman from Pittsburgh isn't arrogant? Who travels to Punxsutawney, PA for the annual Groundhog Day celebration. He puts up with the others, but sees himself as the talent, and them, at best, as the help. He is all about exclusion. His arrogance keeps his coworkers at a distance. His sense of superiority blocks any way to self-improvement. But then he gets stuck in a time loop. He keeps repeating the same Groundhog Day again and again. This unnerves him at first, but as he gets used to it, he figures he can use the information he gains to give him an edge in the next iteration. At first, he does this for selfish reasons. He learns a lot about his producer, Rita, in hopes of getting her into bed. He is not successful. At some point, Phil starts learning in earnest. He loosens up and learns the piano and French and other useful life skills, which he then uses to help people, saving and enriching lives. He changes his focus from inward to outward, and he opens himself up to experience and to others. His barriers down, the world can now enter Phil's heart and mind. At each Groundhog Day, he's practicing ever more skillfully inclusion. And that, put simply, is his way out of Groundhog Day with the promise of spring approaching and out of the prison of his own selfishness. And you may feel, as I did on first seeing the film in 1993, that such enlightenment is easy when you get to do the same day over and over until you get it right. But, you know, we as a church come together to do roughly the same sort of thing week after week. We come together as a community. Many of us sit roughly in the same spot every week. Yes, I mean you, Jen Nelson. We don't have Phil, but we do have Seeley, and for today, we even have Darren the Screech Owl. Admittedly, we don't have a Sonny and Cher tune starting us off each time as our church opening hymn, but our weekly meetings do allow us to see old friends, to maybe make new friends, and to share insights, to grow together to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine, or to put it more simply, and to say it and mean it, we've got you, babe. And that's pretty inclusive.
Good morning, my friends. What a morning. Screech owls, bubbles, music. What next? Friends, my name is Peter Lucky, and it is so good to be with you once again, my dear friends at SMUUCh. We come to this place to see and to be seen, to teach and be taught, to hear and to be heard. Now I invite you to reach over and nudge the person sitting next to you. We're here together, gathered in peace, authenticity, and intention. We also come to this place, to this church, to share our joys and sorrows. If you have a rare joy or profound sorrow, please come forward and briefly share 2 or 3 sentences and light a candle over at the table.
Hi, I'm Shannon, and I just want to give a big thanks and a big shout out to Jim and Jen for organizing the auction, both silent and live, and to Dale for being the auctioneer last night. And it was a fun night last night, and I encourage people next time we do this to donate items, to bid high, and it's just great. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Kay Azar, and this week my husband Deeb and I celebrate our 53rd anniversary, which is longer than the Middle East peace has lasted. Many people have judged the tone of the Middle East by our marriage, but not always true.
Hi, I'm Kira, and this is my brother Kyle. And earlier this week, we lost my dad. He was a longtime member and loved coffee hour. So we just want to say when we're having coffee today, if we could just give a little thought to my dad, because he's really missing coffee hour. If you want to.
Hi, I'm Dale Hogan, and I want to light a candle for some of my friends in Eureka Springs, where I moved from just almost exactly a year ago. One friend has been battling cancer for a long time, fairly successfully, but she's taken a turn for the worse. So I want to think of her. Also, a good friend of mine died. I thought he was totally healthy. I didn't, it was a total surprise to me when I found out that he died. And so I want to give comfort to his wife and his sister, who are both members of the Eureka Springs UU. Like this one? Well, I only have one eye, so I don't have depth perception, so I have problems.
You did great.
Hi, I'm Jen Nelson.
And I'm Zoloft.
He's back. We just wanted to echo what Shannon said. Thank you, everyone who donated, who bid, who volunteered. Together, we raised around $8,500 at the auction.
I'm Alyssa. I'm lighting a candle for Kaya Duggins, who is a family friend who lost her life in the plane crash from Wichita to DC, and all of the other victims and their families.
I'm Sarah Mendez. Some of you know my sister Megan. We grew up here. Did I light it? Okay. Sorry, I'm afraid of fire. Her cat died unexpectedly this week, and she is devastated, distraught, and she keeps saying, "It's not a human. I shouldn't be this sad." And I'm like, "But it's okay to love your pet." So she's, if you know her, think about her. She's real. It's sad. So that's all. Thanks.
My name is David. I am lighting a candle today for a friend of ours whose daughter is having a hard time and is in the hospital after an attempt on her own life. I'd also like to light a candle for all of the minority groups, LGBTQ folks, and immigrants who are living in fear right now.
I also want to light a candle for Glenn Shepard, who died this last week, and there will be a visitation tomorrow, Monday, at Overland Park Funeral Chapel from 5 to 7. People are invited to come and pay their respects. And again, this is Glenn Shepard, who died this past week. And we light the remaining candles, knowing that all of our joys and all of our sorrows that are in our hearts are held by us all, and that we are a community of care and love. Let us sing the song, Joys and Sorrows. My friends, let's just take a moment to come into this sacred space. I like to really focus on our breathing and just to take some of those long, deep breaths and kind of exhale all the anxiety that's in this world and inhale grace. And I like to think when you inhale, perhaps you inhale the word peace. And when you exhale the word gratitude. Let's just take a moment to breathe and be centered. Peace be with you all. Let us sing, I Know This Rose Will Open. Hear these words of Robin Wall Kimmerer.
Even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of wonder and joy. I choose joy over despair, not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift. And hear these words of Jack Gilbert. We must risk delight. We must have the stubbornness to accept our gladness in the ruthless furnace of this world. To make injustice the only measure of our attention is to praise the devil.
Thank you, Bernie, for being our worship associate this morning. I got water in the pulpit this time. Thank you, Bernie. So what does the sound of Defiant Joy sound like? Maybe it's something like this. No, no. I will not give in. I will not cave to the cruel winds of meanness and fear and lies blowing through this country. No, I will not give in. I will not run away. I will not pull the covers over my head and pretend that it's not happening. I will be defiant. And not only that will I be defiant, but I will be defiant with joy. Why joy? Because joy comes from love, and love casts out fear, and fear is what tyrants rely upon to keep themselves in power. I will be defiant with joy. I don't know about you, but I've been thinking lately about other times in our history when the dark clouds have gathered. I've been thinking about the 1930s in Germany and the rise of fascism and Nazism. At a time in the world when day by day the world was getting grimmer and grimmer. A time when people and soldiers with red and black swastikas were showing up in the streets in German cities. A time when it was deemed okay to label certain people detestable and therefore expendable, and that people were being rounded up, detained, deported, and we know what happened next. How did people respond? How did people react to the world then? Well, some were collaborators. Some were bystanders. And some were resistors. And then some, in the middle of those dark clouds, would find a place and time to gather and express their defiant joy. And often that place was a place of music. It was a place of dance. It was a place of theater, the performing arts. How many of you remember and recall the musical Cabaret? Hands. Cabaret tells the story of the Kit Kat Club during the waning jazz age in the 30s in Germany. And at the Kit Kat Club, it tells the story of these people that would gather. And yes, the story is raunchy and bawdy. And yes, it's burlesque and vaudeville. But it's a story of how these people would gather in a spirit of defiant joy. How they were able to laugh at the unlaughable. How they were able to make fun of what was not funny at all. And they would come together into this little island of music and dance and laughter. And they would come to this place called the Cabaret. And some of you remember, as I remember from the 1972 movie, The MC, played by Joel Grey. Do you remember, Mesdames and Messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cabaret. Leave your troubles outside. So life is disappointing? Forget it. We have no troubles here. Here life is beautiful. The girls are beautiful. Even the orchestra is beautiful. There's something about the human spirit that refuses to bend the knee to authoritarianism, that will not squeeze every last bit of humanity out of our souls and put it on the altar of fear and lies, because deep in our bones we know what? That we were created for joy, for wonder, for delight. Right from the very beginning, in the story of creation, we learned that the earth was created and that God called creation good. All of it good. And we know the story of how humankind were created in the mythology of the ancient world. Humankind were created, Adam and Eve, and placed in a garden of Eden. Now, some of you may be thinking about this story, and the first thing that comes to your mind is the story of the fall, the story of original sin. But that's not how I see it, my friends. I don't see it as a story of original sin, the story of the fall. In fact, I love the heretic deemed by the Catholic Church, Matthew Fox, who called it the story of the original blessing. The original blessing, because we were placed in this garden and given companionship for love and delight and joy. It's what was intended for us in our lives, the Garden of Eden. And this garden of ours, this earth, well, we have sure made a mess of it, haven't we? That poor screech owl. The world that he lives in or she lives in, we don't know if it's a he or she. We've messed it up pretty badly. And yet still, this earth feeds us and nourishes us and gives us joy. Robin Wall Kimmerer, a botanist, a scientist, a woman who hails from the people of the Potawatomi, marinated deeply in Native American spirituality. She says these words. She says, even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of wonder and joy. Moments of wonder and joy. How many of us have enjoyed a Kansas sunset, the reds and the crimsons and the blues and the yellows and the bright lights, that incandescent, iridescent light of a sunset? It's joy. How many of us have looked up into the star-studded sky at night or through the James Webb telescope, perceiving light that's coming from dead stars as long ago as 13.8 billion years ago when the universe was formed? And how can you not look at those pictures and not be filled with amazement and wonder and awe that we are here at all in this moment alive? We are made, my friends, for wonder and joy and amazement. Or just to hold a baby and to feel the baby's brow underneath your fingertips and to smell the smell of a newborn child. Is there anything more joyful than that? Or to hear Daniel play beautiful music, a sweet chord of music, so sublime. Or the life of a community like ours this morning, that people come and share their joys and sorrows, and we find strength and nourishment in being together. Yes, every day we can experience and feel joy in our lives, my friends. But here's the thing. That joy, it's a choice. We have to choose to experience joy. Robin Wall Kimmerer writes, she says, I choose joy over despair, not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift. That choosing is so important, and it has been no more important than in these last 14 days to choose joy. Because I don't know about you, but I've been waking up feeling very depressed and discouraged and despondent about what's happening. And it's very natural and human to feel this way. When, as we just shared, LGBTQ friends and trans young people in our state of Kansas and people that are Hispanic, the people that can't speak English that are putting a new roof on our house as we speak this week. And we worry what's going to happen to them. And we know and feel the fear that they're feeling. How can we not feel depressed? And my friends, to wake up this week to the news of the American Airlines flight from Wichita, Kansas, that collided with a Black Hawk helicopter over the waters of the Potomac River, 67 people gone. And some of the people are friends of people here in this community. We know these people. And to have the leader of our country stand up and not help us grieve, but instead use it as an opportunity to say the most racist comment, that somehow DEI is to blame. It is as if, friends, a wrecking ball is being placed, ready to smash our country apart. It is really hard not to be depressed and discouraged and despair. And so I want to suggest and invite you to say, sometimes we're just going to have to go there. We're just going to have to be depressed. But please, don't stay there. We can't stay depressed. Because you know what? If we stay depressed, then they win. They win. And our democracy won't survive, and we won't have the country we love to pass on to our children and our grandchildren. Because you see, what's going on right now is that we are in a fight. This is a fight. And it's like all fights, it's a fight about power. It's whether the power is going to land in the hands of the people or it's going to be held in the hands of billionaires. It's a fight over power. And what we're living through right now is a tussle between all that is good and sacred and decent and right versus a concentration of power for power's sake. It is a moment befitting even a Star Wars movie of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, of the forces of light and the forces of darkness. This is the reality in which we are living right now. And we cannot sit it out. Because if we capitulate, if we cave, if we're cowed, if we let ourselves be cornered by fear and intimidation, then they win. We cannot let them win. What this means, what this moment calls for, is for us not to be the bystanders, not for us to be the collaborators, but for us to be the resistors, to be defiant. And even in our defiance, to choose joy, because we are made for wonder and delight and joy. That joy comes to us out of adversity is something that all the major religious traditions speak of. In Christianity, it's the moment when the disciples are gathered the night of Jesus' crucifixion, that they gather and they hear the words Jesus of Nazareth said, "You will have sorrow now, but I will come again and you will have joy, and no one will take your joy from you." It's the words of Robin Wall Kimmerer, who says that even a wounded world is feeding us and giving us joy. It's the spirit of the Dalai Lama of Tibetan Buddhism, persecuted his religion in Tibet when the Chinese communist government took over in 1959, fled to India, has been in exile in India ever since. And if you read the Book of Joy, his conversation with Archbishop Desmond Tutu, what do you find? These two people, the Dalai Lama, who's gone through so much hardship, and he just exudes joy. In fact, he says in some ways the hardship made him appreciate joy all the more. His joy is a defiant joy. So what does it mean for us to be people of defiant joy, my friends, here at SMUUCh? For me, for you, for our community? You know, look, it's going to be different for each one of us. We're all different. We all have different roles to play in this drama we call life. And I know that Daniel Doss would agree with me on this and remind us that it's not a matter of who has the big part and who has the small part. We all play different roles. There are no small parts. There's only small actors. We each have a role to play. For some, we're going to be joyful activists. We're going to link arms. Maybe SMUUCh becomes a sanctuary church. Maybe there will be acts of civil disobedience. Some of us will write our Congress people. Some of us will write state legislators. Some of us will write letters to the editor. But other of us will do defiance in a quieter way. We'll be reaching out to friends and neighbors, bringing a casserole to somebody that's lonely and hurting. Whatever way, we'll be reaching out and creating community and connecting with one another so that nobody is alone down in the dumps. And yes, some of us will be turning to music and to art and to drama to express our defiant joy. I'll tell you a story about music and art and drama as an expression of defiant joy. In my congregation that I served for 24 years, Plymouth Congregational Church, Jim and Vicki are here from Plymouth today. Good to see you guys with us this morning. But at Plymouth Church, there was a member by the name of Dick Schiefelbusch. Some of you may be familiar with his name. There is a Lifespan Institute at the University of Kansas that's named after Dick. He started the speech, hearing, and language clinic at KU. He lived 102 years. And all the years that I knew him, all the way up until he died, he was a person of irrepressible joy. He had a twinkle in his eye and a dance in his step. And if you met Dick Schiefelbusch, you always walked away feeling joy in your heart. And how did he get that joy? How did he find that space inside of himself? Dick Schiefelbusch was a prisoner of war in World War II. He was held captive in German prison camps during the war. And what Dick said is, you know what we would do to keep our spirits up? Every night we would come together and we would put on plays. And we would sing, and we would improvise, and we would laugh. And that capacity to sing and laugh and put on plays and do drama was their way of expressing their joyful defiance in terms of the situation in which they lived. You could say that Dick and his friends, his fellow prisoners, were people that expressed their defiant joy by putting on a nightly cabaret. A nightly cabaret. So what I would take with you today from these three thoughts. Number one, joy is a choice. It's a choice that we have to make. Number two, you and I and all of us were created for joy, for wonder and delight on this earth. And number three, defiant joy is the way to go because joy comes out of love, and love has the power to cast out fear, and fear is exactly what the tyrants want us to have so they can stay in power. And when we give in, they win. But they're not going to win. We are, because we're going to be a joyful, defiant people.
there is a script for the offertory, but as usual, I won't be reading it. I'd like you to think of Darren the Screech Owl, whom you saw earlier, and the important work that Operation Wildlife is doing, because today's Donate the Plate offering will go to help them do their good work. The offertory will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of the shared values of this church and of the people that we help in the world.
Each person has a special song to sing. In life's symphony of praise, we each must take our place. So find your voice and let your music ring. The song has just begun. There's music to be sung. Lift high your voice, the time of joy has come. Make hope and love your theme. Rejoice and start your dream. You can teach the world your melody. Change the noise to harmony. The song has just begun. The time for singing now is here. Let the celebration start. Chase every cloud till skies are. Won't you sing with all of your heart? The world is waiting for the music only you can bring. So fill the earth with hope and lift your voice and sing. Lift your voice and sing. So dance and sing and let the music take you. Sing out for joy, let glory fill your heart. Let the rhythm move your soul. Let music take control. Rejoice in life, let the celebration start. The song has just begun. There's music to be sung. Lift high your voice, the time of joy has come. Make hope and love your theme. Rejoice and start your dream. You can teach the world your melody. Change the noise to harmony. The song has just begun. The song has just begun. Our song has just
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the worth of community, or the power of government. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please join us in singing This Little Light of Mine. That is actually correct.
friends, you know what's coming next. Look, the benediction today, you are the benediction. You are the good news. We are called right now to be the light. To be the light that's inside you and let it shine, and to be the light that we can find when we're together with one another, because we need each other in order to be the light. So let us go forward from this place bearing the light and bringing a message of defiant joy.